Well, greetings everyone. It's Mark and Ann. We are live again. How you doing today,
Hello,
Ann?
hello. I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good.
I'm
Got
good.
some good guests tonight. Who do we have tonight?
Yeah, we do. Tonight, I'm really excited about this. We have PK Beville and
Hmm.
Anna Scott with Second Wind Dreams with us tonight.
Okay.
So, PK is the founder of Second Wind Dreams. She
Hmm.
established it in 1997. Second Wind Dreams is the first organization that's focused on granting dreams for elders living in long term care facilities all
Mm.
across the United States. PK is also the founder of something I'm sure everybody's familiar with, an internationally acclaimed virtual dementia tour.
Hmm.
With that virtual dementia tour, she has been featured on ABC News, Primetime, Nightline, and Fox News networks, as well as Headline News networks.
Hmm.
So PK is here to talk with us tonight about Second Wind Dreams and the virtual dementia program. And then Anna Scott works with PK, and she is
Hmm.
their community development director for Second Wind Dreams. She
Hmm.
specializes in fundraising development and advocacy for seniors, particularly those facing dementia. And through the Second Wind Dreams initiative, which is called Dreams program that they have,
Hmm.
Anna works with that and she creates a very positive impact on mental health of our elders and surrounding the community.
That is fantastic, and I'm
I
very
know.
happy to have them join
Yeah,
us. I've done the tour. It is quite the experience. It is eye-opening, and I'm very
absolutely.
proud to have them. So let's count this down and get this going.
All right.
PK Bevel and Anna Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's good to have the two of you. So
PK, Beville, and
let's kick
Anna
this off and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you.
Hey, somebody mute somebody's the
PK, Beville, and Anna
echoes
Scott
coming
tell us a
through
bit
the
about yourself.
speaker. Can y'all hear it? There you go. It was Anna.
There we
Okay.
go. That
Yep.
get
So
it?
go ahead.
Oh
Yep. I
boy.
got it.
Yeah, so I have been working in long-term care since 1983. I know I don't look that old, but I am.
Mhm.
And been caring for those living with dementia since then, as well as other mental issues having to do with depression, dual diagnosis, comorbidity, things like that for people with dementia or
Mhm.
for people in long term care in the continuum. And I'm founder, like we said, of Second Wind Dreams. There was a part of the psyche evals that I used to do for people in long term care, and it was the incomplete sentences test, which
Mm.
sounds easy, and it is. And I created one that came off of the geriatric incomplete sentences test, and two of the questions grabbed me early on, back in the early 80s. One was, I wish, finish this sentence with the way you feel. And the things I was getting back were things that were so humbling. I wish I
Mm.
could go to the graveside of my wife. I wish I could
Wow.
have a steak dinner. I wish so those kind
Mm.
of were so humbling. And then also the second question, or there were lots of questions, but the second one that gripped me was, finish this sentence, the future. 98% of the people, and I'm just throwing that number out there, but a lot, most, almost all people said, the future looks good. The future is
Mm.
now, these are people living in a skilled nursing
Wow.
facility.
Wow.
So their
Mhm.
attitudes, 9 times out of 10, were so positive. Fast forward 2 years later, when I finished doing that gig, I wrote the book Second Wind, and
Mhm.
based on the true stories of what happens in long term care. They're funny, they're touching, things like that. And in 97, I founded Second Wind Dreams to make some of those dreams come true.
Right.
And so doing that was great, and enjoyed it. And until the fundraising got to be horrible. I try to find people who are willing to step up and say the dreams of people who are in long-term care or on the continuum are important enough to invest in. So I did a lot of prayer and soul searching, and did you really want me to do this, God?
Right.
Is this really? You're not giving me any cash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that could be a quest within itself, right?
It honestly, Mark, it really was.
Yeah.
So I went back to graduate school for my PhD, and it was during that the question was asked to me, what if you could change anything in healthcare, what would it be? And honestly, it was to try to help people understand what it's like to have dementia. So that created the Virtual Dementia Tour, and the rest of that is history. So, Second Wind is unbelievable. The team is fantastic. You're looking at one of the amazing people right there. And so that's all I got to say about me.
It's excellent. I'm glad that you did seek God's guidance, because what you are accomplishing is fantastic and it's so needed. So Anna, whoops. We're having a disappearing act.
I don't know. I disappeared a while ago, so I'm not sure what's happening. I got kicked off too. So
yeah, so hopefully she'll grab that link and pop back in here, and she can tell us a little bit about herself.
And that's amazing, PK. Your story. I've actually recently retired from nursing home administration. That's what I've done for about 26 or 27 years now. Has been nursing home administrator, and that's where my heart is with those people. And I love our dementia patients. They really were my favorite.
Of course, they were mine too. Yeah.
Yeah. Just great.
Because, when you think about it, the people living with dementia, this is something that they can't control. This is not, this is, so the way we treat them is what's so important, because they can't speak for themselves. They can't say, you know what, I don't like the way you've treated me. Here's Anna.
Well, there she's back. So Anna, I will unmute you because it's fine long as I'm not running my mouth. So with that said, you tell us a bit about yourself.
I will unmute you because it's fine long as I'm not running my mouth.
We got echoes. I don't know why.
Sorry. I will unmute you because it's fine long as I'm not running my mouth.
There is an echo, so I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. There is an echo, so I'm trying to. So just a little bit about me. I actually started as an activity director and just fell in love with working with the seniors and the residents of senior care. And so then went into fundraising and volunteer recruitment with another nonprofit, and was able to come over to Second Wind Dreams. So I'm excited to be a part of that organization, and love being able to work with seniors and the Dreams program. So just a little bit about me.
Excellent. Well, this is a new little trick that Ann and I are trying. Is for people that can't hear well. We have this repeat, so to say it again. So we were testing that out, Anna. So, but I'll have you muted. I apologize for that. But yeah, it was echoing. So with that said, let's go on to the first question.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what Second Wind Dreams really is and what you do. And
Okay.
PK, if you want to take that, that's great. Yeah.
Sure. So Second Wind Dreams, I created it with the understanding that the dreams that need to come true for our elders are just as important as the dreams are for those of us who are not in long-term care. They think about these things. They become depressed when they can't have some of these things happen. And the dreams are just so not complicated. When Anna gets back on, I'd love for her to tell a couple of her dream dreams that have come true. But for me, and we've done studies on the types of dreams we make come true, and we find that the most common dream we do are dreams for fun. Our elders want to have fun. They want to drive the earth movers. They want to go to Six Flags. They want to go to a dance. They want to hear some music. They want to do fun things. So I think that when I did that study years ago, I think that came as a surprise to me. I figured it would be dreams of need, like I need a new blanket, or I need a cup holder for my wheelchair, that is one that really gripped me. So,
wow.
Yeah, so they can be so simple. And so I wanted the outside community to be the people who made the dreams come true. I don't want the elder care communities to do it because they've already got a plate full. So Anna finds volunteers that go into the elder care communities, and they do what we call dream discovery, which is cool. We get to find out from their mouth what they want. And then we go about the business of working with volunteers to help make those dreams come true. And what's funny to me is the paradox there. People kind of are afraid of dementia and old people and long-term care facilities and all of that. So it's hard to get people to visit there. But when it comes time to make a dream come true, no problem at all. They love to pitch in. They love to help. So what they're saying is we are in a society where if you just tell us what to do, we really would like to help. We just don't know what to do. So I can't fault anybody for that. Yeah. So Second Wind Dreams is a nonprofit that changes the perception of aging. And we do that through the dreams. We do that through the Virtual Dementia Tour and all of our programming.
Okay.
Excellent.
Anna, you want to share with us, if you would, share with us a couple of stories where you've had dreams come true.
You want to share with us, if you would, share with us a couple of.
Let me let that question get asked again. I'll unmute her.
Do it a third time. Yes.
Let that
So
question get asked again. I'll unmute her.
just do it a third time.
Do we know why this is doing this?
It's something with her connection or speakers or something.
I don't know why it's doing that.
That's funny.
All right, sorry about that, Anna. We'll because I do want to hear. I wanted to hear the answer. Anyway, we'll have to figure that out. But let's go on, and Anne, if you want to ask PK.
So let's talk a little bit more about it. PK, if you can explain, is there certain criteria that people have to meet in order to participate? And I know you said you send people into the facilities and they can talk with them, volunteers, and kind of find out what their dreams are. How does all that work?
So it can work in a lot of different ways. I'm not wed to a specific program. As long as we can make those dreams come true, that's really what it's about. So that sometimes the dreams come true when the activity professional or the social worker gets to know the residents, obviously, very well, and they can tell us some of the dreams that the residents have, and then we go about trying to make that come true. We also have a plate. So the criteria for a dreamer is that they really do have to have voiced the dream, except for our sleeping dreamers. Those are our dreamers who have dementia. That doesn't mean they don't dream. That just means they can't answer those questions. So things that they talk about a lot, things that they do word salad a lot with, things that the families tell us they mention to them a lot, the staff members. And we go about replicating whatever it is that those precious sleeping dreamers are talking about. And let me tell you something, they wake up during the dream.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's pretty awesome to where when you show up and you're doing that, the response has to be incredible to watch.
Well, it is. So we do these a lot, but let me just tell you about one. I don't want to bore you to tears, but I went on into a special care unit, and I asked one of the guys there. I said, if you could do one thing, what would you like to do? And he said, address my troops. And found out that he used to be a big muckety muck in the Marines, and obviously had dementia. So we got a hold of veterans, and we did it at a conference, and the family still had his uniform. They put him in his uniform. He showed up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, not confused a bit. And we had troops lining the aisle as he came in, and he one by one saluted each troop member.
Wow.
Looked him over up and down before he moved to the next one. And then we did a formal flag folding ceremony for him. And it was absolutely, he woke up. He was articulate. He was talking. So those dreams are just so special to us. And
that is amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. We talk about things like even music therapies and things like that, and how it wakes people up so much.
It really does.
Because it's tapping into those memories that they have, and the dream for him to speak to his troops, that was a great time for him. So that's wonderful. That is wonderful. I love that. That's amazing. I know one of my nursing homes, and it was after I left that nursing home, but Second Wind Dreams, this has been several years back, but they came in, and, we went through some tough times in this state with a company that was shut down by the state of Georgia. And so he had moved from one nursing home during that time to another facility. And the next thing I saw with him, because I had been with him at that first facility for a little while before it closed, and I got to see him, and he was on the news. He had wanted to be part of the sheriff's department.
Oh, yeah.
So he got to go and be sworn in, and his picture was on the news. And it was just, to me, it was just the sweetest thing. I just loved it.
Yeah.
I just love that for him. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Those
wonderful.
Those reliving past experiences, and the ones who, what's one thing that you've always wanted to do are huge. They're huge.
Yeah. Well, and coming out of a nursing home, I get that. So, yeah, I do.
Hard.
I get that.
Well, Anna is communicating me through private chat. So she asked PK for you to tell us about your partnership with iHoop Factory and Caesars.
Sure thing. So many years ago, I had the opportunity to present to the Caesars Foundation about Second Wind Dreams. And so we have dreams coming true through their nonprofit arm in through the casinos, in the nursing homes around the casinos. And what's cool about Caesars is that they use their employees we teach them how to discover the dreams, and then they go about the business of making them come true. So it's a great employee retention program, and it's also a great way for Caesars to be a part of the elders, which have gotten them kind of where they are. So we're in Las Vegas, New Jersey, New Orleans.
Wow.
There's more. And while I'm on that subject, I wanted to just mention briefly that the Virtual Dementia Tour specifically is we have offices in London, Vancouver, Bergamo, Italy, and Sydney.
Wow.
Yeah. God takes care of drunks and fools. And so I hit that on both marks, and he's just blessing us all over the place now.
That is fantastic.
Wow. I did not realize that. That's amazing.
Yeah. We're in, I think, 9 languages now. And yeah, it's incredible.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that awesome though, PK? Because like when you think back to the very beginning, like you're asking the question, those times at night, you're praying, and sometimes I feel like it's just bouncing off the ceiling. You're searching and seeking that you really want to be in God's will. And just sometimes it seems like you're swimming upstream, but it's so awesome to see the victory. It's so awesome to see you stick to it, hang in there, and now the blessings are overflowing, and the difference that you're making in people's lives is phenomenal. So I think that kind of leads into, I'll ask you this, is share with us more about the Virtual Dementia Tour and how it was created, because when I went through that, it was really sobering.
Yeah.
So tell us about how that came about. Like, really, how did you birth that?
Well, a lot of things I think that happen in our lives are not only spirit led, but are also spirit led because we get frustrated with the way things are. And, we get tapped on the head and said, look, wake up, idiot. You can see right here where you can be of benefit. Because what was happening was I would go into elder care communities and I would do in-services, and I would get so frustrated. And all of these in-services were on how to care for people with behavior challenges. That was my thing. And of course, most of the behavior challenges are happening because of the cognitive decline and inability to understand what's happening in the environment. And so who's to blame for that? We are. So but I could not seem to get, in fact, there were a couple of times I did in-services and would come out of the in-service and I would see the staff doing exactly what I had asked them not to do. In the in-service.
I can believe that.
I'm sure you can. It just, I just couldn't understand why that nut was so hard to crack until I finally realized, well, PK, how do you expect them to identify with people who have a disease that they've never had, that they don't have any reference point to? There's no, we've all been young adults. Most of us have had children. Some of us have been on a spiritual walk. Some of us have been through a divorce. Some of us, and that we get that. And in addition to that, in most situations in life, the person who is going through something can articulate the journey. But people with dementia can't do any of that. No. So we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know what they're dealing with. We can extrapolate, but without good information, how do we know what person-centered care is, or what we call at Second Wind, empathic person-centered care? So in noodling through some of that, I realized that the only way I could figure out how to breach that chasm was to try to create a simulation. And studies show that people, adult learners, actually do better with simulations than they do with videos and even role playing. It exceeds role playing. And I studied how the brain dies. And so in studying the brain itself, then and where the damage is happening, then what is the behavioral output from that cell death in that area of the brain, right? So if it's if I'm seeing damage in the temporal lobe, that's going to tell me we're going to have some auditory discrimination problems. They're not going to understand words coming in receptively. If it is in the limbic system, we're going to see wide mood swings that are happening. 1 minute they're great and they're doing fine, and the next minute they're about to bite heads off bats. So in studying how all of that behavioral output occurs, then I needed to figure out how can I don't like the word trick, but it's the only one I can come up with right now. The normal brain, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. But apparently there are some, because they have them on slides that you can look at.
Yeah.
The normal brain into thinking it has dementia. So if I'm looking at the temporal lobe, and if I'm looking at those different areas, then that means that I have to create special glasses that are going to kill the peripheral vision, that are going to be that yellowish orangish haze that, ooh, I had it really bad myself till I got cataract surgery. And that, what a blessing that was, let me tell you. And so then the headphones. So I tested with sound mixers because we know they hear something because you can see them.
Right.
Yeah. So I worked with sound mixers and took it to support groups until the support group participants with early to early mid stage dementia were saying, how did you know? So,
Wow.
Oh,
so then we have
wow.
the headphones, and then so the glasses, the headphones, and then you can watch a person, that visual spatial discrepancy that they have, where they'll go to reach something and they'll miss it, or they'll get it in their hand and they can't let it go. Those are in different parts of the brain, but that can be simulated by the large gloves that you can't really pick things up. And we have them sewn in a certain way to make it even harder to do fine motor dexterity, but also that depth perception by them being large. And then we have the shoe inserts, and you know, it's
those
funny.
are fun.
I hear people,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
aren't they? Those are horrible, PK.
I said those are fun. The shoe.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're awful.
So there are, you know, after the Virtual Dementia Tour came out, it's funny how all of a sudden there are all these kinds of knockoffs out there.
Yeah.
And so God love them. You know, they're not.
That's the way it goes in
evidence-based.
life. It really is.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes in life, unfortunately, is, you know,
It's how it
something's-
is. Yeah.
It is. It is.
It just scares me sometimes because I worry that they haven't done the research and they're saying the wrong things and it's giving people the wrong impression. And anyway, can't go down that road. But anyway, so I've heard some of them say that the those painful shoe inserts are for peripheral neuropathy, for the pain in the feet that happen with the older. And that's not actually why I did it.
Okay.
I mean, that's okay if you want to take that route, but that's not it. I did it because I wanted the participants to feel pain. People with dementia can't tell us they're in pain. They show us they're in pain. And we end up giving them psychoactive medication and the wrong medications because we misinterpret their signals on the pain. So during the debrief, we talk lots about how to pay attention to what pain looks like for people living with dementia and treating it appropriately. So then we have the shoe inserts. Now, the best part to me, so all this is happening, but then they go into a room that is set up specifically like a person's room who has dementia. You know, there's the all that stuff is in there. And we have a person read to them tasks they need to do. And those tasks are given in a regular, like you would use your normal reading voice to give those tasks. And that person walks away and the person's just standing there, which is exactly what I think people with dementia feel like when we give them things to do and walk away. Well,
I stood there for 3 minutes, just like.
Sure you did.
I was just standing there going, what am I supposed to be doing?
Exactly.
Right.
And that's exactly what, if a person with dementia could tell you how they feel every day with caregivers, that's exactly what they would say. I had no idea what I'm supposed to do. And
well, that gets back to Ann and I have you know, been talking a lot since the last show. It's really frustrating because no one wants to talk about this stuff when they need to. And it's so important. I think it should be mandated if you're going to be involved in any kind of care for anyone with memory issues or brain disease. You should have to go through a training because so many people are mistreated because they don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. Well, and I know, PK, you've seen it a lot more than I have, but you know, you watch families over the years that I've cringed, and I actually have pulled families to the side, you know, very politely to say, don't fuss at her for
Yeah.
that. She doesn't know, and they want to fuss and say, "Mama, you've said that 3 times," or "Mama, why didn't you
Mhm.
do? I told you to put your blouse on or shoes on, and we were going to leave or whatever." And you can't make them really understand that Mama is standing over there not having a clue what it is you want her to do. She
Yeah.
is,
But she can hear
just
your voice getting angry with her.
Angry.
yes, and she catches that
She can hear
tone,
that.
but she doesn't know why.
Right.
And then that upsets her. Mama starts to cry, and then and it's off to the races with everything else. And I just, those kind of things really bug me over the years. And I agree, Mark, people should, I wish we could do more for training in facilities,
Mhm.
a little more
And the
hands-on deeper
families.
dive training,
Well, yeah, like you said, PK, for families, and I'm the furthest from an expert as can be, but all I can do is share my personal experiences with my mom and the things that I'm seeing. And maybe I'm wrong on some of my observations, but you said something, PK, that kind of stirs my pot a little bit. And what I've witnessed and have been witnessing and watching is when Mom went to the emergency room back in December, we actually thought she was going to pass, and she should have passed, but medical intervention kind of allowed her to keep going. So then we had to save her from the hospital. So we bring her home with hospice. So fast forward, we've said our goodbyes 4 times now, and Mom is hanging on. And I'm saying, unfortunately, for some reasons I don't understand. And what I'm witnessing and watching is how the medications, the morphine, the drugs they give to stop the agitation is destroying and rotting her brain at a level that it shouldn't be happening. And so the things I've learned has been such a help to be able to love Mom the best I can and to help her through the mental crisis that she's at. And so I'm out there the other day and I'm watching, the nurse try to get her to change clothes. And so I just standing over her, Dad sitting next to her, and I just went over there and I kneeled down right in front of her, and I just tried to change the conversation and say it in a different way. To make it sound like it's her idea, and to make her say, "Hey, let's get more comfortable. You'll feel better. Let's get in some nice clothes, and I'll help you go over here, and let's get in bed and get you some rest." And you could see the mind settle a little bit, but it's becoming sort of this passion type of thing. And like Anna said, is wanting to be more proactive and almost forcing the hand to get family members and communities, people that work around it, to understand you don't have to get aggravated. They can't help it. And if you have your knowledge, the knowledge gives you the ability to see that person differently and know how to approach it. But
And PK, just a question in hearing Mark talk about this and saying, how we do want to get information in families' hands. Do you find that, just as you were saying with the dreams and making dreams come true, people really do want to help? I found that when I would talk with families, and nothing on the level that Virtual Tour does, but families, they are willing to learn. Do you find that they are certainly willing to learn and want to be a part of it? It's not that they just don't know how.
That's right. They're thirsty. And when, the Virtual Dementia Tour is also designed for the families. And we also have a family edition of the Virtual Dementia Tour. They can actually take it home. They can do it in the environment where their loved one is with the rest of the family members. And because we know they can't always get to one of the places that we're conducting the tour. But before I get to that, could I just, Mark, I know you're going through a lot. Family members, hats off. There are going to be very few things in life that are going to be as tough as what you've been going through. And I just want to encourage you to know that the obvious empathy that you have for your mother and where she's coming from will do more for her than any amount of medication. But also keep in mind that those meds that we're using at the end of life don't make the confusion more. It makes them more relaxed so that they can do what they need to do to move to the next plane. That may increase in confusion from the standpoint of they're relaxed enough to where that confusion. See, when you're trying to stay in control all the time, you look more intact than you really are. When you start to let go a little bit, that's when some of the underlying issues start to come out. So I would like to encourage you and any other family member listening, when it's at the end of life, to embrace the fact that the more relaxed they are, the easier it is for them to let go. The more uptight they are, and the more frightened they are, and the more confronted they feel, the harder it is for them to let go. I sat vigil with a woman who absolutely would not let go, and she was transitioning, and that transition lasted for 3 days, and she didn't even have a pulse or a blood pressure and was still breathing. So
Wow.
from what I hear, she was a very controlling woman. She, blah, 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 blah. But so keep in mind that those meds are doing something else.
I think I told you that.
Well, and Kim saying
I tried to
she
say
agrees.
that to you.
Well, I appreciate everybody sharing that. I appreciate, PK, you
Well,
saying
just
that as
feel
well.
loved.
It
Would
just
you just feel loved for just a minute?
I think it's just it's hard to watch your mom look like she's on heroin,
Yeah.
to where she's stoned all the time, like to the point of zombified. And so the crying and trying to, anyway, it's just not easy. And I know everybody knows that, but I do appreciate the
but that
words from
doesn't-
all of you and all
But
from
that
it.
doesn't lessen the pain. That doesn't
Yeah.
lessen the pain. I want you to feel loved and supported and know that God's got this. God's got this. And here's
on a little bit, lighter view of you saying the woman didn't have a pulse. Mom's hanging on for some reason. I'm like, what are you? I mean, wow.
Exactly.
And she's stubborn as a mule.
And I told you one other conversation we had, I had said to Mark PK that those times that he gets some of that, I said, those are blessings and you need to hold on to those. Because one day you're going to realize
like
the blessings that were there.
I have Kim saying it, Donna, my wife saying it, Ann saying it, and now PK saying it. I'm just like, geez, man. But it's real as it gets, right? Well, PK, is there anything you would like to add? Because I know that this could go on and on because there's a lot to talk about and a lot to share. So maybe we can do a part 2 and kind of hone in on things even further, because I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And Ann and I and us here at CareQuest want to be a part of spreading that and helping promote that. So with that, final thoughts, anything you like to add?
Well, Mark, you gave the perfect segue. So since the inception of Second Wind, we take care of and support families and elder care communities in the world of dementia and those that are, going through the aging process. But we don't have anything for end of life care. And what you're going through right now, Mark, is exactly why I created what we call empathic transitions, so that family members and caregivers are trained in how to handle exactly what you're going through now, Mark. A doula is a midwife, and there are birth doulas and there are death doulas, and both of them do the same thing. What your mother is doing right now, Mark, is what we call death labor. She's coming in, she's going out. She's coming in, just like laboring for a baby being born. It's the same kind of thing. And it takes a long time for the body to finally say it needs to go. But there is a wisdom of the body that's out of our hands. And that wisdom of the body is what's going to create the complete transition. So we created this program and we train dementia doulas every quarter. Next year, it's going to be every other month because the demand is pretty high. And those people are trained in specifically how to do exactly what I've been talking about. And I'm a doula for a local hospice and have been at the bedside of many of the residents I've served as they die. And one of the things that I've always noticed is dadgum, how is it that we can leave a person with dementia in their room all alone to die with no one there to support them? Just because they aren't communicative very well anymore doesn't mean that they want to be left alone. So, yeah, that's the hopefully my final chapter with Second Wind. I pray that Second Wind goes on long after my legacy is finished. But for right now, I hope that that's going to at 71. It's about getting to be time for me to spend more time with my family, and I have 9 grandchildren. And
oh wow,
it's do you? Yeah,
Jeez.
it's a birthday every weekend, isn't it, Anne?
Yeah. That's why I retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Kim Poor, she joined the team. I met Kim a couple years, 2.5 years ago, and she's an end of life doula. So she's on board as well. So I will share that with her as well. She's watching now and check into the dementia side of that. So
It is so
I have to ask this now that you've got my noodle to going, and you talk about the in and out, like, you know,
yeah,
and that's what's been psychological. Yeah, okay. Kim is interested in finding out more about the dementia side of the doula, so that's going to be a good thing. So anyway, not to get on my high horse like I do. It's psychologically, and this is for anybody else that's experiencing this with their loved one. Speaking for myself, I've said my goodbyes to my mom 4 times.
yeah.
This year, like for real, legit. This is it. Crawling in bed, loving on her. It's
Jesus,
okay.
Mama.
Yes, all that. And then you go out there the next day, poop, she's sitting in the love seat next to Dad, and you're going, what in the what? So you kind of get this sense, but now it's ebbed into a flow that's not going to happen again. She's really at this different phase that I don't even know how to explain. It's just zombied and miserable and depressed and sad and confused. And it takes a while to, when you walk in to kind of focus to see who it is and all. But anyway, I've really enjoyed this, and PK and Anna, I know you're still there. I'm sorry for the echo. I wanted to hear some of your stories of when you go in to sit the dreams. So I would really love if you two would be interested. Let's do a part 2 and talk a little bit more about fulfilling those dreams. Because PK, I think it's awesome when you talk about the ones that don't seem like they're aware of anything,
right?
And show up and do what they talk about. How cool is that?
Isn't that fun?
It is cool. So anyway, if anybody wants to get a hold, here is Second Wind's Dream. Here is the website. There is the phone number. So you can reach out to there, and hopefully we will have a part 2. And regardless of, we want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this. Please share, comment, put this in front of as many people as you can. Support the show, support the channel, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if any family needs any help placing their loved one into assisted living or memory care, that's what we do here at CareQuest. That's what makes the wheels spin. So with that said, we will catch everybody on the next show.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Of course, the pleasure's
plate,
mine.
so we really appreciate it. And Mark, I'm just gonna right at the end, like I always do every time we do our podcast show. I just want to remind everybody that that's what we're here for, is to reach out to Second Wind Dreams, reach out to Mark and I. The whole reason for doing this is to get information to families, and so that these families understand that you are not alone in this journey. You are not alone. So please reach out to any of us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
it. Everybody keep your chin up, move forward, and make a difference in the world. See you next time.